Hi, I'm Paul Friedman. I'm the founder of the Marriage Foundation. And this topic is pretty interesting, how to deal with cheap husband. And it can be frustrating, when you're seeing your husband pinching pennies and not taking care of things in a way that make you feel appreciated and respected, or maybe you just feel like, wow, why is he so cheap? Why doesn't he, we got the money, why not spend it? That's what it's for. And so I want to tell you, first of all, that you should subscribe to this channel because you'll learn so much more about marriage. Maybe not so much with this topic, because this is kind of an outlier topic. It's important, but it's outlier. And one of the things I want to point out is that when you married your husband, you already knew that he had this tendency, and now it's starting to bother you, and chances are he's not going to change. I'm just going to tell you the truth. Here's a reality that I discovered late in life, and it's a very valuable piece of knowledge that all of us should have. And it is about expecting or hoping that another person will change. And it doesn't really matter whether it's your husband or your kid or your brother, sister, it doesn't matter. Here's what I realized. You can bribe, threaten, cajole, inspire, anything you want to do. And until someone is ready to change, they're not going to. And no matter what you say, no matter how well you articulate the truth of the necessity for them to change as you see it, and I'm not saying you're wrong, you're probably right, they're not going to change. And so it really comes down to, am I going to live with it, or am I going to bitch and moan about it for the rest of my life? And when I say bitch and moan, I don't mean to him necessarily, but also to yourself. And this brings up a very important point about marriage and about ourselves in life. And that point is this: we all want the same thing. And I don't know why we don't learn these things in school, but we all want to be happy. And we don't realize usually that our happiness never comes from external things. I mean, fleeting happiness does, but true happiness only comes from within. The reason for that, and I know you're thinking about it, and it's fine, think about it. And what causes the most happiness in our life is not an external thing, it's an internal thing: love. And I'm not talking about increased like, I'm talking about the real deal, love. When we feel love, it is impossible for us to not feel joy. They're tied together. This is all going to make sense to you, it's the nature of the soul. Joy and love defines the soul. Now, you might say, I believe I have a soul. And I'm going to tell you, no, you don't have a soul. You are the soul. You see, we're not taught these things. And in fact, we're misled, let's call it, by the dark side. And so the dark side takes a perfect reality that you're a soul and just tweaks it a little to misguide you into thinking, I have a soul. Of course I have a soul. When in fact you don't have a soul. You are the soul itself. You have a mind and you have a body. But when you recognize at last, and this is not a religious conversation, this is still about marriage, believe it or not, it is. Once you realize, I am the soul, I am joy, I am love. When you realize that, and I don't think I've realized it yet, it's a process, then what we have to do, it's incumbent upon us to do so, is we have to learn how to master our mind. We have to learn how to take care of our bodies so they're serving us well through proper diet, exercise, getting enough sleep, drinking enough water. But our mind, it's more of a hidden truth. We have to learn to master it. We have to start seeing that our emotions are part of the mind. They're not us. What's part of us as souls is free will, love, joy, but not emotions. Emotions are of the mind. And by identifying with the emotions, we get caught up in the mind's back and forth, circular game, however you want to call it, and we get stuck, and we don't feel the joy, and we don't feel the love. And your cheap husband, you married him because you fell in love with him. And now your mind is getting tweaked, and you're identifying with your mind being tweaked, and you're critical of him. I mean, look at the word you used. You didn't use thrifty. You didn't use economical. You used the word cheap. It's not exactly a nice word, is it? And so the solution to your problem, how to deal with your cheap husband, is the same how to deal with your generous husband from a place of love. Did you subscribe yet to the channel? Are you starting to see how different we are here? How much you can gain? Because the perspective is all about gaining from your marriage the very reasons why we get married in the first place, to experience love and joy. Love and joy, that's what it's all about. You see? So now we're going to start even training marriage counselors, TMF marriage counselors. All we do is marriage, by the way. We don't do grief therapy and all this stuff, just marriage. Because that's what I know. I used to be a divorce mediator over 20 years ago, and then a couple asked me to help them with their marriage, and I discovered there's a teachings of marriage, and utilizing those to help people, very, very rewarding. And so if you're a therapist or a clergy, or you're already helping people, you might want to consider using all of what we have. So dig deeper, go to our website, see what we're all about. I'm Paul Friedman. I'm the founder of the Marriage Foundation. I appreciate your coming by. I appreciate your liking this video, leaving comments. God bless you, and see you again. Take care.